They say graphics and good combat usually carry a game, even if the story is bad sometimes. For indie games, that line gets a little thin as graphics get pixelated in a 2D world with a top-down or side-scrolling view. The combat is usually simple but unique. These games tend to shine, and the latest example of this is a game called Moonshire. Let's talk about it. What is up guys, Crazy Rick here from DACWARDZ TV, and today we are talking about Moonshire. Moonshire is an action-based RPG Souls-like game set in its own universe. In the game you are a sage, and you escape your homeland due to a threat. The goal is to save Moonshire. Along your journey you will run into a variety of enemies, and you will travel through a bunch of different environments, which can provide their own challenges. With that being said, despite the story, this is a non-linear game, allowing you to roam freely and explore. The game has regular mechanics such as attacking and dodging, save spots, NPCs, and inventory things like items and dyes for your outfit, which are pretty cool. There's a ton of cool features in this game that I believe make it really unique. So, let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros. There's honestly so much to love about this game, but let's circle back to what I said at the start of this video and lead with that. One of those things was combat. The combat in Moonshire is great. It's simple and easy to learn. It feels nice and responsive on a controller or even on a keyboard. The dodging mechanic is really smooth, and different weapons have different effects, different attack speeds, different animations, and even different ranges. Not to mention you could sacrifice your weapon to heal you. Speaking of weapons and fighting, let's quickly talk about the enemies. The enemies in Moonshire are very well designed. They are smart and hard to defeat, especially bosses, making the game feel competitive. Different enemies all have a different set of moves and movements, and their attacks are random with no pattern, leaving the player always thinking of a fighting strategy. And in the end, this makes battles feel a lot more rewarding. But something else that's rewarding is the sound. The sound effects in the game are music to my ears, literally. The sound design, especially with headphones, was such an immersive experience. Everything from the start screen music to the music in the different zones felt well made, and each melody was well connected to its corresponding visuals. Even the small sound effects, like falling, dying, receiving an item, or even knocking an enemy off, felt in place and natural and helped to never break the immersion. But talking about sound with visuals, the other thing I mentioned at the beginning of this video was graphics. And even though it's a pixelated game, the graphics and environments in Moonshire are incredible. Just speaking on the pixels alone, everything is so crisp and clear. And the environmental features are pretty amazing. There are things like weather changes, planting seeds, random weapons, interacting with things like hitting a tree for seeds, or breaking boxes, and opening chests. There are roaming enemies and bosses, and saving the game on a flower, which is so unique in my opinion. And there's also the town. In the town there are NPCs who will give you information or quests to complete for a reward. There are also mini games and a shop. The town doesn't feel empty at all, as the layout is pretty full with things, but not overwhelming. As I said before though, the environment comes with its own challenges, and there are a few different areas such as caves with limited light, forests with hidden spikes, grasslands with bodies of water, and the Cloud Island with destroyable rocks and moving platforms that gave me a little bit of trouble, which kinda leads me directly into the cons of Moonshire. So sorry to interrupt, post-editing Rick here, and I wanted to quickly let you guys know that I'm actually creating a game. I want it to be an 8-bit style roguelike mobile. Now, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I'm not a game designer or a game developer, but I do have a little bit of help on Fiverr, and if this is something you guys are interested in, I actually have a Discord for it. I'll leave the link down below so you can join, whether that's to track the progress of the game or to contribute in some way, shape, or form. I'd love to have you in the community. But yeah, back to the video. Cons. The cons of Moonshire are honestly some of the mechanics and bugs I experienced in the game. Things that will probably be fixed in the full game, as this is just a demo. Some of those bugs include the platforms from the Cloud Island that I mentioned being sometimes hard to catch, getting stuck near a chest with no way to reset, seeing enemies attack through a cutscene, or sometimes after death, the falling sound being a bit premature at times, or sometimes seeing a second character after you die. Also, some of my personal nitpicks and suggestions that aren't bugs are the size of the boss arena. I believe the boss's arena are kinda small in this game, because sometimes I would fall off or it'd be hard to aim on the boss. Speaking of bosses, I wish that the game gave them a health bar. I completely understand keeping it hidden for mystery and suspense, but games like Elden Ring are still suspenseful while showing the boss health, and I think as the player progresses through lowering the health, it gives us a certain sense of accomplishment and motivates us to finish the job. I also think that there should be more healing options in boss battles, even if that means spawning a weapon or two for you to sacrifice for health. Lastly, I wish that there was more attacking options, like some magical move or a default ranged attack. With all that being said, overall, this feedback is based on a demo version of the game, so I have no doubt there will be a lot of updates and fixes coming up. So, I would definitely recommend playing this demo and wishlisting the game, as it could only get better. But if you haven't already, please check out my Dragon's Dogma 2 Should You Buy video, and sub for more videos like this. And in the comment section below, let me know what game I should do next. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Crazy Rick, out.